Hello everybody and welcome to week 4, season 2 of the Zwift Racing League. This week we've got Sprinters Playground, which is 37.2 kilometers, 201 meters of elevation. We have 3 laps in total with 4 sprint segments. So the Tower Sprint, the Castle Park Sprint, the Alley Sprint and the Railway Sprint. Each sprint has got a fastest through segment and a first across the line every lap. Basically a world of pain, and honestly something that I'm not great at. Sprinting and then recovering is not good for me, so this week was interesting. Now I actually came in with a game plan on this one. I wanted some first across the line points. I've not had any so far in the league, and I knew that if I wanted this, it needed to be at the start. So one of the first 2 sprints, either the Tower Sprint or the Castle Park Sprint. Now the likelihood is that I'm going to get spat out the back of the front group at some point anyway during this race. So I may as well put in maximum effort at the start and just try and get some of those first across the line points. So as we come up to the first sprint here, annoyingly it kind of took me by surprise. Now I must have watched Cy Bradley's video about 100 times I reckon, to prepare myself, but for some reason I still managed to miss it. I'm way too far back here. I mean, if I was a really strong sprinter, maybe not such a bad position because I'd be able to sort of push on through and I might have got some fastest through segment points, but I'm just not. So all that did was completely knackered me out. So I've already used one match. I haven't really got many left. So next stage is just to get onto the back of this group as quickly as I possibly can. I don't want there to be a split and me to miss out. Obviously I want to stay with the front group for as long as possible, but I know this isn't, it's just not my race. It's not my, I'm not very good at it. And the fact that I think that means that, you know, that is going to be the case, because you are what you think at the end of the day. Anyway, so I know that this next sprint is going to be, you know, the one that, well, basically my last chance to get any sort of fastest through or first across the line points. And as we roll it through, I'm just trying to recover the best I can through this segment, but whilst, you know, learning from my mistake previously and trying to stay at the front of the pack. Now I remember watching on one of the videos before, there's this like square bit, as you can see on the map here, so I knew the sprint was close. At this point I think one of the guys jumps across. There you go, yeah, he had one of those ghosts power-ups. So I pop my aero and I'm just thinking, just go for it. And it's not such a bad move, this. And I'm giving it everything I've got. You can tell by my face, I've got literally nothing left here. I'm just trying to hang on for dear life. And I can tell you that I did in fact get some first across the line points for that one. So absolutely happy days. Job done. I'm just absolutely spent here. I didn't realise at the time that I'd actually got any first across the line points. I got an invisibility power up, which I just called it the ghost, and I got an invisibility power up, which, you know, I didn't use for anything in particular. But now just trying to hold on to this group the absolute best I can. I'm knackered though. I am knackered, and say this is what I'm not very good at: having a little sprint and then sitting in the group. Just, yeah, not very good at that at all. So by the time you know it, we're already at the next sprint. And let me tell you, I'm not even going for it, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to hold on to the front now. Everyone's popping their beautiful aero and draft power-ups. And I'm just sat here at 300 watts, trying my best to hold on to the back of this group. Really difficult though, really difficult. I'm actually surprised that, you know, the front group was so big. You know, I'm 65th at the moment. So I'm kind of thinking, you know, I'm going to be off the back of this group at some point. So yeah, I'm not enjoying myself right now. And it's a bit disappointing that I only had 2 sprints in me really, but you know, I do need to, I guess, do some training and get a bit better at that. Anyways, I roll it forward here. I do catch back onto the main group. There has been a small split behind, and I'm in a lot of pain. I'm not very good at these races. Anyways, we come up to the next sprint as I sort of roll it forward here. Just once again trying to do my best to recover. but still having to put down some watts. And then as we come up to the sort of final sprint of the lap, it's pretty much game over, unfortunately, for me in this group. I just kind of, I'm doing 400 watts and I'm just finding it absolutely super painful, because I know any second everyone else is just going to bomb off and leave me. And yeah, that's all she wrote at the end of the day, which is, as I said, as expected. I burnt my matches early, and at this point I'm thinking I haven't got any first across the line points. Bit of a rubbish race for me so far. So, but I just couldn't keep it up, which is really disappointing. One of the things with me is I like being in the front group for as long as possible, and it just didn't happen. Anyway, so I catch one of my teammates, Rod, catches up, and we sit in a group of 5 for a little bit, and then we eventually get gobbled up by a even bigger group. So yeah, essentially now it's just a case of saving as much energy as I possibly can in this group, because we're not fast enough to get any fastest through segment points. There's just not enough of us to do that. And there were a few attacks in this group, as you can see here. I've just this was one of the attacks. But in a group this size, if there's one person that goes away, they're going to have to be super strong to stay away almost. So what happened is a couple of people tried, and then this was quite a good segment to try and get away actually, and then just the force of the group brought it back. The speed of the group brought it back on the downhill. I wasn't even really sort of doing too many watts there, to be honest with you, and we all came back together. So there was a few of these, and I actually quite enjoyed it. It was almost like a race, a little mini race within the race. And I guess when you are away from the front group, it is nice to have these little battles. Otherwise, it's essentially just riding around doing a bit of zone 2 for 50 minutes, which is fine. Anyway, so we're on the last lap now, and it kind of always kicked off up this sort of little hill segment, and I decided to give it a little go. I wasn't necessarily planning to break away or anything like that, but I did want to sort of test everyone just to see how everyone's legs were ready for the final sprint, because I'm actually not too bad on these little rises. I actually quite enjoy them, and I can put a decent amount of power down. So that's probably where I'm best. Like last week, for example, up the climb, wasn't really too threatened by it. Anyway, so we're coming into the last part of the lap now, or the last part of the race, and once again, I'm targeting first place in this group. I've saved enough energy. My heart rate is not crazy high. Someone pops the invisibility, so I decide to pop the aero boost. And I kind of always feel like I've got enough to do it, but we've got this chap in front of me here that's also popped a little draft boost. But I'm not too dissatisfied with that. In the end, I think I was 59th, which is surprising because it really looked like I came 60th, but I'll take it. We finished 12th as a group, which was not a terrible result actually. Stephen Lormer with an excellent result. Unfortunately, it did put us a couple of places down, so a couple of the other teams had some superb results. I think Amani B had an excellent result today, which pushed them up the table. Still all to play for though. Got my Zwift power up here. As I say, not the greatest of races, but enjoyable. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.